Namaste and welcome viewers. Mental health issue and student suicides are two of the biggest issues that young India today is facing. 35 students die due to suicide in India every single day. This is as per the government data. 40 minutes is what it takes for us to lose one student due to mental health issues. The numbers are scary, but when you look at it, it does make a lot of sense given the amount of pressure that the students and young professionals in India deal with. In fact, the only way out of this is an honest and an open conversation, and that's what we're doing today at Campus Mirror.
We need to bring much more awareness in the society. We need to start a lot of campaigns.
If you don't have a healthy environment or a supporting environment, then you would still be ashamed.
Government is doing their best, but we as a society need to bring the change in our mentality as well.
India is facing an unprecedented mental health crisis. Recent studies have revealed that over 50% of youth and young adults aged 18 and 24 report struggling with mental health issues like anxiety and depression. Be it students or young professionals in demanding jobs, like the recent case of a young CA succumbing to work pressure at a big company like Ernst Young, mental health has become a major talking point across the nation. You've seen in the past as well, mental health wasn't really a conversation that we saw growing up. Our generation is much more open to it as well. So how do you look at it, the way mental health is spoken about these days? And also, what do you think are the major issues that youngsters face these days?
Thank you so much. I feel mental health has been given importance these days because of the kind of awareness that's been spreading and the kind of exposure which we are getting. We often see people having a lot of academic pressure, a lot of pressure from their families as well, which leads to increasing rate in the suicide and depression. So I feel there was not much of awareness in the earlier days, but now it has been emphasized in schools and universities as well, and even families are getting more exposed to these kind of topics.
When you say one student dies in every 40 minutes in India, it's a scary statistic.
I think awareness is definitely important, but I feel like the correct way of it is still not in motion right now. For example, you have it in media, like expressing their views and everything, but I feel like if you're not implementing it in day-to-day life, if you're not teaching, if you're not being taught as well, I feel like it doesn't make a difference. For example, the parents don't know about it yet. Like, they don't treat their children like that. I feel like it just really grows their own anticipation to know that by themselves, but I feel like it should be more outward. Like, somebody's telling them that it's okay if it's happening to you. I feel like that is really contributing to still it being present in our lives.
Okay. The role of parents, that's also very important because, of course, like your friend here said, the role of parents in this particular issue is very important because students or even youngsters, they cannot really open up to others like they can open up to their parents as well. So how important is it for the parents also to realize that this is not a disease, this is not an issue with their child, this is something that they're just going through and it can be addressed and solved?
I think yes, parents are the most comfortable places for their children, and children does expect their parents for the first one to understand them and tell them that they're okay and they do not have a problem. And so the parents should go to therapy themselves so that they can understand all these psychological issues better, and they don't think that their child has some issue which has to be solved or some problem that has to be solved, but it is normal and a lot of people are going through it, and he will also be fine.
If you feel comfortable talking about it, you said you shared your issues and then now you're feeling better. What makes it difficult to share things with people?
We live in a society where we are being constantly judged, where we are being constantly criticized. So sharing your problem to a society where you know you're going to be judged, I don't think so anyone can do that easily. You need some time, you need some motivation, and then you can do it.
They feel like they are in competition with their friends, they are in competition with their colleagues. Even all the professionals out there, they just feel like this fellow has achieved so much, I'm still backwards, I have to do something. No, you have your own pace and you have your own track to run on. So you have to take a step back and then analyze everything and analyze your potentials and then give the commitment of how much you can do. And it's important to also tell them ki this much is the capacity that I can do. So many people here are people pleasing, mostly in India.
Correct.
And they don't set proper boundaries in order to, like, this is my capacity and I can't work more than that. They feel the urge to just prove they are so golden to their boss. And the bosses are like, ye to kaam karta hai, isse karwayenge, and they put lot of pressure.
The statistics also paint a grim picture. According to the NCRB data, while the overall suicide rate has increased by 2%, student suicides have surged by 4%. Tragically, India now records over 170,000 suicides every single year, and most of these cases involve young people between the ages of 15 to 39. Whether it is students or young adults just starting their careers, the struggle is real and growing.
And these are not just numbers, these are, of course, data that gives you an idea about what's going on in India right now. And some of your friends here also said that the numbers are scary, but it's also very important that while we talk about mental health, the parents also need to be involved. The role of the parents is also very important. So how much do you think the society, the people that we are around, that also plays a role in this?
I think society plays a major role in deciding how you feel about yourself. Like, if you are judged on a daily basis on the college campus, I think it will really affect your mental health in general. And I feel like that staying physically healthy is also equally important for your mental health.
Like a lot of people said, the numbers sound very scary, but at the end of the day, we also need to look at the reasons. What exactly is leading to the mental stress? Okay, you can talk about the work pressure, but what about students? What are the issues do you think these days that are affecting students and causing a lot of mental stress?
I think one of the major reasons that's causing mental stress is our own expectation of our future, as well as the expectations our parents are holding for us. And it's not very easy to live up to those expectations, obviously, that the world is a very fragmented place right now. It's not a very nice world to live in. And as someone who is very connected to the internet, we see a lot of the things that are happening around the world, a lot of the problems that plague different people.
So I feel like in India there's a lot of like toxicity in workplaces. The mental health of the employees is not prioritized, and they're just, it's a very run type of mentality that everything needs to be done, and it's like you're trying to catch a train, which is like not true. You have a lot of time, it's one life, and you should like do it how you want it to be. But again, I feel like therapists, like there should be like a workplace therapist where you can talk to them about your issues and stuff, and yeah, that's important.
I think mental health in general is really sidelined, especially in a country like India where we are trying to refocus our attention to economic growth. So with that in mind, especially in corporate settings where the mindset is very capitalistic, we are looking at people who are going to be enforcing these ideas on their employees as well. They're going to be telling their employees that they need to meet these standards to stay in the company, or they're going to be fired.
A collaborative study by Nimans and the University of Melbourne has revealed an alarming statistic. Nearly 19% of college students in India have considered suicide, and about 7% have even attempted it. A lot of this also has to do with social media.
Do you think social media also adds to it? How active are you on social media?
Yeah, I'm quite active, and I think that due to the ever increasing social media engagement and most of the content nowadays on any of the social media sites, it's highly curated. It shows you just what you want to be in your life, and most of the content isn't even real, but still.
Does it also at the same time, while it shows you what you like, does it also show you what you are not? And that also causes an issue. You realize that, well, people on social media are beautiful, they are fit, they look good, they sound good, they're great. Why am I not like that? Do you think that also causes a lot of self-image issues?
Yeah, I think to some extent it causes, because it inculcates a feeling that my life is not that good as somebody else's, which I don't even know, to be frank. So yeah, that creates a lot of pressure.
Let's also speak to some of the students here and try and understand how exactly the society around us today plays a role, because everyone's on social media. You feel like you're not worth it. You feel like there is a pressure for you to behave a certain way, to act a certain way. Do you think that also plays a role in putting a lot of mental pressure on students? Because besides your studies, your social life is also becoming very important these days.
Definitely, I feel that I think social media is really important in portraying what our life is like, and it's very different from what we see in reality. And this stigma of being everywhere at all times is very bad because people have this thing called FOMO, and they feel that since I'm not a part of it anymore, I can't be fitting in the society, which starts affecting them personally. I personally have gone through such experiences where I'm not being able to attend a party, and then later I realized that, oh my god, maybe I was just not fit for it, maybe I'm not a part of this anymore, I cannot fit in this group anymore. And just there's so much pressure all the time going around of being the perfect, and there's so many people who actually edit their photos, and surprisingly we start feeling that our bodies are not enough good. We start working out, we start doing so many things which are not even required sometimes, so it definitely takes a lot of toll on your mental health.
One of the biggest lifesavers for those struggling is the ability to reach out to someone for help. Most often, a conversation can end up being a lifesaver, but it isn't always as easy as it sounds.
Also, viewers, one of the most important things here is to understand that the reason why the number of cases keep increasing is that there is a stigma which is attached to mental disorder or mental issue. In fact, if you go by data, 80% of youngsters in India right now do not really want to talk about their mental health issues because they are scared of being judged, they are scared of being taken for granted, and also there's a shame and stigma that is attached to mental health. Do you think this is one of the first steps that needs to be addressed? The fact that there's a stigma around mental health. If you tell someone that you're not feeling well mentally, suddenly you're branded as a lunatic. Your mind is not proper, you need help. Help us understand how important is it to ensure that this is also booted out, to ensure that the students can talk, the youngsters can feel free to talk about it.
Oh, definitely. I feel a lot of awareness should be raised for the same issue as you said. Especially for students, for college students, for school students, we don't talk much about it. Parents don't talk much about it. The society wants us to shush, wants us to shut up. We don't talk about it. We need to bring much more awareness in the society. We need to start a lot of campaigns. The government has a lot of initiatives have been taken place, but I definitely agree with the fact that we as students, even for adults, especially also for the elder population, bullying, harassment, this takes place very much in India especially. So we need to address that. Like you said, we need to address that. We need to bring it to the awareness. We need to start talking about it. I think the first step is just to start talking.
Exactly. The first step is to start talking about it. Have you ever had a situation wherein there's something that you have wanted to share with someone, but you're scared of being judged? Have you ever been ashamed of sharing your mental health issues with someone?
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes, not sometimes, many times, I'm not able to talk with my parents about anything, like the examples you give right now. It's very difficult for these ages, like what do parents will say to us and what the society will think of us. Like these days, everyone can't open right now. I don't know, like it is a age factor or a society time factor, but like everyone has kept their own secrets and pushed them back.
So clearly maintaining silence about this is not the way to go. You need to share it with someone at least that you trust. And who do you think should be that person? Should it be the parents or the friends or anyone that you're comfortable with? How important do you think people around you are?
See, as per me, the most important role is played by parents and family because they are the immediate people you are in contact with. But unfortunately, those are also the people who are most likely to judge you the most out of the people you are surrounded with. So therefore, as a person, as an individual, I find it very difficult to share some things with my family because I feel like they might not understand because of generational gap, or you can say anything, like any reason, the way they think. And the most important people whom we can actually share these things are with our friends because they are the people who are probably going through the same things as us. Right, so they are more likely to understand what we are saying. But then again, like I said, parents have a central role in this mental health issue, and they are also the people that kids are most reluctant to open up to.
So when you go through something like this, I'm sure you had situations where you feel low mentally as well and you're not able to share it with someone, what do you do? What's your remedy for it? What's the way you deal with it?
For me, basically, I believe that writing down your thoughts is very good. But if you have that one close person whom you can share it to, like not all people have that. Some people really fight with their issues within themselves. And I believe that they should reach out to people. They should at least try to reach out to people. And I know that at some point they might realize that society is not somewhere that they want to share their issues. But for me, it is like writing down my thoughts and like jotting everything down.
As you were discussing over there, it becomes difficult to share with some people after a point. I do remember with me personally and other people also that I know, that sometimes there are things that you know that you can talk to your parents about it, but it's just that they're related to some topics that you can't really talk to anyone who's personally involved in your life. So I think in those cases also it becomes really important that when we reach out to our parents and we say that if we want to see a doctor, so I think they should be much supportive of it, that yes, we do understand that we can help you, but after a certain point it becomes important to go out, and it's fine if a child wants to see a doctor, right? They're not harming anything.
I have friends with whom I can share and they don't judge me. They make me feel okay about it and they tell me that it's okay. For like I'm not a party person at all. I don't like partying, and sometimes I feel that okay, I might not be cool and maybe I'm not fit, but they make me feel that it's okay. You are unique. It's your type.
The governments have also finally woken up to the alarming statistics. Various steps like the National Tele Mental Health Program are also being taken up to provide mental health support through digital platforms.
Again, we look at government now taking a lot of initiatives. The government has finally woken up to mental health being a very important factor. How do you look at these steps that are being taken by the government? Do you think they actually help? Do you think these helpline numbers and everything that are put out, do you think they actually make a difference?
I think they do help till some extent, but I feel like all of it is really dependent on the kind of environment you live in, or the kind of lifestyle you are adapting on a daily basis. Because if you don't have a healthy environment or a supporting environment, then you would still be ashamed, or you would still have that stigma in your head that you cannot contact those helplines and even take those government initiatives to your help.
Are you aware of any steps that the government has taken? Because we'll be talking about that. But I want to know if the youngsters today are aware of what the government is trying to do as far as mental health is concerned.
Yeah, actually, I myself was a victim of body shaming in my previous school. So I had my counselors there and they helped me a lot, like improving myself, motivation. But my ultimate source of motivation was my parents. Government does play a role, but I don't think so. They play a major role in helping you out. It's yourself who's going to help you out, and yeah.
We also see these issues at companies, at offices. There's a lot of work pressure and students usually are not able to deal with it.
Government have already, I guess, taken a step to that all institutions should have a council that takes care of such issues. Even, for example, even at my father's workplace, they have many bodies that have been created that provide counseling to all the workers that work there. But at some point, everybody has this one fear of being judged due to societal pressure or something कि यार किसी को पता चल गया that I'm taking counseling, ये ना सोचे कि मैं ऐसा हूँ वैसा हूँ. So I guess government is doing their best, but we as a society need to bring a change in our mentality as well, that we don't judge the person who's going for counseling fears कि यार लोग क्या सोचें.
Even at Bennet University, there are various programs and initiatives that help students understand their mental health and also shed the stigma around discussing such issues.
Now, the first point of contact for any student that's suffering from a mental health issue or something that they don't feel good about is their teachers, their college, and it's also very important for the colleges to play a very important role when it comes to this. Joining me right now from Bennet is a psychologist, Dr. Shalini Mittal. Dr. Shalini ji, you work here with the students as well. It is very important to understand what they're going through. The problem, like I was speaking to a lot of students here, and data also suggests, is that 80% of the students don't feel comfortable sharing. They feel if they talk about their mental health issues, they will be judged. So how important is it? How important is your role and the college's role to ensure that such students open up about such issues so that they are taken care of?
So the major reason why students students don't want to talk about their mental health is because of the stigma surrounding the issue. So we here at Bennet University try to ensure that we provide students with a safe space and a safe environment where they feel comfortable in sharing their issues. And we do that by a lot of means. For example, we organize a lot of events. We organized an event called Address the Elephant in the Room. So it was surrounding the stigma of mental health. So that is how we are able to create an open discourse and students feel more and more comfortable in sharing their issues.
Also, if you can just help us understand more about the student psychology right now, because there's a lot of social media, there's a lot of such issues. As an expert, when you talk to a student, how do you decipher what exactly is going wrong with them?
So I would like to tell you that the first mental health institution was established in 705 CE in Baghdad. So mental health issues have been prevalent for a long time. It's just that the way the digital era is affecting the mental health.
And the way we look at it also, for example, I believe the first British laws that were brought in were also called lunatic laws.
Yes. So that catered to the stigma that still surrounds. That's like a colonial legacy that we have brought with us. So we need to understand that mental health issues have already been prevalent for a long time. It's just that we are not addressing the problems that the students are facing today. The digital era is affecting mental health in ways that we do not completely understand, and we rarely discuss these matters. So social media has created this comparison culture, and there are certain professions for which the students are preparing, like science and technology and finance, which are promoting the hustle culture. And social media has these curated stories of success, and that is putting a lot of added pressure on the students. And I think we need to understand that, and only then we will be able to help the students.
Absolutely. So that's the word here from the Bennet University campus. Talk about your mental health. If you have an issue, do share it with people. And also remember, share it with your parents. If you're not comfortable with that, share it with your friends. And if you're not comfortable with them either, then go watch a good movie and have a good time. Don't care about the world. Don't care about what you see on social media. It's all about you, your mental health and your mental peace. We'll be joining you next episode with lots more on Campus Mirror. Stay tuned.